Hello, it's me, Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and I'm getting ready for Gateway with Sarah Klausner, who is going to be there also attending. And she's going to be on a panel. She's going to be taking part. She's helping to organize. Sarah, what else are you doing for Thomas True for this conference?
Well, I'm just basically going to the meetings and discussing and kind of helping. He had asked me to be on a panel. So we're just discussing different ways to bridge the gap between the community of atheists and Christianity. Being that I am a Christian, and they've been very open, and Natalie was actually the one that suggested that we have a panel on how to talk to an atheist, which I don't find atheists hard to talk to at all. But basically how to discuss and how to bring about topics that would bridge the gap between Christianity and atheism. Not trying to necessarily change each other's minds, but having an understanding of each other, just being open to dialogue and challenging each other's ideas and beliefs.
So as a Christian, you probably don't go to too many events like this, do you?
No, this is my first one. Yeah. Again, I've been going to a lot of meetings, and I've really, really enjoyed the interactions I've had. I've had great discussions. I've had my beliefs challenged, and I hope I've done that as well. Probably not so much, but I've tried. And it's great to get together and just have discussions on just issues, whether it be religious issues out of the Bible or atheism. I learned what skepticism is and how to question everything and just make your own conclusions. And it's been a really, really, really good experience for me. And I think other Christians would have a great experience coming to a conference like this as well. Again, not to change the beliefs, because I'm still a believer in God.
I wish there was more Christians would show up at events like these. Not so much the fundamentalist ones, but the ones that have their beliefs and are reasonable, such as yourself. Because conferences like this are not just about atheism. It's about skepticism and community. And also this one's got a lot of entertainment. There's going to be, comedians and singers. And atheism is obviously a big part of it. But getting a different point of view, I think, is very important. As a society, we tend to isolate ourselves with those who have the same point of view as we do, which is why people go to churches and even conferences like this. It's a little different for atheists since we don't really have churches. This is our opportunity to be around people of similar beliefs, or at least a way of thinking. But I'd like to see more Christians, or even Muslims and Hindus and what have you, to show up at these events just to take part in the conversation, to challenge each other in our views, because I think that's very important. I like to debate people mostly because it helps me to refine how I actually think about things. I don't get stuck in my head and think, oh, everything I know is perfect, which I know it's not true, but it's easy to let yourself think that. So how do you think we could help encourage other Christians or people of faith to attend conferences like this?
From my experience, I have been very touched by what I've heard from different atheists about their belief, or lack thereof, of belief in a God. And some of their families have rejected them, and society has rejected them. And that's kind of what led me to want to understand more about this group of people that, from what I could see, they were very attacked by others, by Christians in particular, my own people, I have to say. And I think what it comes down to is, if I truly have a strong belief in Christ, if I know he exists, if I know my scripture, if I know that he is real, why would I be worried about someone challenging that? Why would I be worried about my own beliefs being challenged? Why would I be concerned if someone has questions, or even it makes me think outside the box? I've had the best questions from atheists that really make me think and dig deep down and get into my own belief system. Why do I believe this way? Why do all these bad things happen if there's a God? That has led me to challenge my own beliefs. And there's nothing wrong with that if I'm solid and secure in what I believe in. And I think that most Christians, or any religious base, what their biggest fear is, well, what if I am wrong? And again, if you know your beliefs, if you're solid in them, just like atheists are very secure in the fact there is no God. Well, I'm the polar opposite. However, it's okay to have that belief challenge. It's okay to have their questions. I'm 100%, in fact, I love their questions. and that's the problem with other Christians I've had too, is they've actually kind of come up against me for that. They don't like their own beliefs being challenged. But again, if you're secure, and if I know without a doubt there's a God, why would I be scared or get offended or get someone says, well, no, there's not. Here's some questions for you to think about. As far as the other Christians to come out, I think that's an effort made based on someone like me who could go to them. Let's take the Satanic Temple for example. I myself was floored when I found out they really don't worship Satan.
That is true.
and that took me going out though and meeting Nikki and meeting all these members. It took me getting out of my comfort zone and going to this dark goth nightclub and finding out that, you know what, these are people, these are individuals that have either been hurt by religion, others story, and above all, they don't worship Satan. In fact, I love their fight for separation of church and state. I myself think that's very important. But I went back and told other Christians, ones that I worked with either at Lifeway or ones that I'm really close to, and they were shocked. Like, they don't worship Satan? No, they don't. They're actually atheists. They don't believe. So it's just, you kind of got to get out of your comfort zone. And I think, as you said, it's not just Christians, it's Hindus, it's Muslims. Of every belief system, everyone's comfortable around their own people. Whereas I have found myself to be very comfortable around the atheists and be very comfortable around those like that because they welcome that. They welcome that challenge. They welcome the discussion of ideas. I'm not a debater. I probably am, but I don't like to consider myself that. I don't like to debate God or not. Let's discuss, does he exist or not? Why do you think he doesn't? Why? And then, so it's an open exchange of ideas. And I have found in the atheist community, they've been very open to that. And I've tried to get that word out to other Christians. And I have had a couple visit me, and I do have one or two coming to Gateway to watch the panel. And again, it's just about being secure enough in your beliefs to be able to have them challenged and step out of your comfort zone and get out there. You guys don't bite. You don't sacrifice babies. It's okay. They're people, and they're people with a story, and they're people that have their own reasons for believing in things. And so it's been very refreshing for me to see that. But all it takes is Christians just understanding that if their belief in God is what they say it is, it's okay to have it challenged. I
agree completely. So you've been working very hard on this conference. Not as hard as Thomas, but nobody works as hard as Thomas.
Yeah.
Is there anything particular about this conference that you're really looking forward to?
I am really looking forward to, and I know the basic answer probably goes to meeting all the people I'm friends with on Facebook now. I'm really looking forward to the discussion, learning new things about, like when I went to see Matt Dillahunty, he was able to explain to me, and this is going to sound silly to a lot of you, but he was able to explain to me and break down what's skepticism. Now, in Thomas and all them, they did do a good job of explaining it. He broke it down to where I understood exactly what the actual belief entailed. And I really like that. I'm hoping to learn more and more about things like that. You start learning definitions when you hang out at the atheist community. I start learning definitions like Pascal's Wager or the no true Scotsman argument. You start learning all these things, and it really makes you sit down and think. As a Christian, I started kind of putting these beliefs, and I started compartmentalizing them. Like, well, they're right. Pascal's Wager is really a ridiculous statement for a Christian to make, and so you start kind of seeing that. I'm looking forward to more learning more things like that. Again, Matt Dillahunty has been my favorite as far as explaining to me exactly how this belief system works with skepticism. I'm hoping I can learn it even more with some of these speakers coming. But from the Christian perspective, I'm really looking forward to the discussion, the dialogue, and just being able to learn why they believe what they believe, and hopefully I'll learn something more about skepticism or something different about another terminology you guys use, which it's been really kind of cool for me, if that makes sense. The terminology, the reason that's eye-opening is I hear Christians now using it, and I'm like, that just sounds silly. That's a no true Scotsman argument. That's Pascal's Wager. So I'm able to also talk to other Christians and show them the error in that. So it kind of helps me in that way too. Apologetics isn't the best thing to use, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping
Apologetics is the
more and
worst.
more things. It really is, and I honestly, I don't use apologetics. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But, and I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of backlash from that from the Christian community. They don't like it when I say that. But I have been able to learn a lot from the atheists to be able to go back and report to my little convent, whatever they are, that, you know, that's not really appropriate. And when you're in, let's say, Pascal's Wager, that was a new term for me. And when I was able to go back and understand what you're really saying, you're asking people to believe in something that they don't believe in, just like asking me to not believe in God anymore. Well, that's not what's going to happen. So how can I ask you, well, what if I'm right and you're wrong? Well, so just those different perspectives have really been, it's been eye-opening for me. And I've gone into it with the idea of I'm not here to change anybody's mind or convert you to Christianity or preach. It's to understand and have dialogue and even have friendships. So it's been really nice for me.
Well, that's certainly a good motivation. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person. It's good to know that someone of a different religious perspective is going to be there. Always makes it a much more interesting event, not having everyone think the same way that you do. Majority of people here I've already seen before, so I'm looking forward to seeing some new faces. But all the speakers I'm very familiar with pretty much, except for a few of them. Most of the people coming to conferences like this is either seeing people that they already met before or get to meet the people that they've been watching on YouTube or on podcasts. So it's a very exciting place to be. To the atheist community, this is going to be a real star fest. It's a lot of big names, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's in St. Louis, which you are native of.
Yes.
July 28th through the 30th.
Yes.
A few weeks away from now. And anything else in St. Louis people should consider taking part in whilst they're in the area?
Six Flags, as you and I have been discussing, Six Flags is a must if you want to get in the full ride. The Loop is a great place to go. It's down in U City, which originally the first conference that Thomas was going to hold last year, it was going to be in the Loop, which was kind of exciting at the time because there's so much. That's a very historical site. I was just on there yesterday. There's so much to do there. So much culture. That's another great place to go for Christians who want to get out of the comfort zone. You have all sorts of different cultures and groups down there. The Loop, and I'm trying to think of it. The Arch is a you know.
Of course.
Fair to Heights, kind of skip that because it sways back and forth, but you can always go look at it from a distance. And that's about like the main attractions I could think of.
There's plenty. St. Louis is a nice big city and lots of interesting things there. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Well, it starts very early on Friday morning and it's going fairly late on Sunday. So I'm planning to get there very early on Friday, maybe even Thursday night. And like I said, I'm going to stick around a while longer, so we'll go to Six Flags and maybe even take in a side or two. Sarah, thanks again for sitting down and talking to me. I have been Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and we are getting ready for Gateway. And there's going to be lots of people, lots of things to do, and St. Louis is a nice city to come visit, and hope to see you there. Bye.